MUBS TV.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you. I would like to welcome you to this week's show. It has been a very busy week in Chambogo University and other universities. Even right now as we speak, there is an event that is taking place at Chambogo University. This week has had so many occasions of violence at Chambogo University during the guild campaigns and rallies. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate His Excellency Makerere, the newly elected guild president of Chambogo University, who won with a margin of 3,040 votes, followed by Nakayenga Samuel, who scored 2,757, followed by Tekisa Timothy. UYD Ninkande to score 280 votes. Yeah, I am sure he is very happy because last week I spoke to him and he assured me that he is going to win. And as well, all candidates assured me of the victory. But of course, we cannot have all people win. In any competition, we shall always have one person who is the winner. This week's show, I bring you an amazing topic that everyone would want to discuss and everyone would like to listen to, and I beg that we give it an ear. The violence in guild elections and its effect on institutional leadership and humanity. Like it has always been seen, it has always happened in so many guild elections that you find that during campaigns there are so many rampant violence. Police tear gassing students, blockage of property, school windows always don't remain where this violence always happens. On my panel today, I have the 26th Guild Prime Minister, Honorable Abdallah Kamkam. Yes, sir. You're most welcome, sir. How is the day?
I thank you for inviting me on this show.
Yeah.
It is a good initiative that you invite us as leaders that we normally come and share with you because we are students leaders, and most likely we are very happy to be hosted here on the MUBS TV, our own. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Yes, and on the other end is Honorable Stuart Chopre. I don't know, I cannot pronounce this other name. It's so hard. Maybe you'll say it out. GRC in the 26th Guild Parliament from the constituency of Human Resource Year Two. Yes, how is that?
Thanks so much, Mr. Mugabe Godwin. It's a pleasure to be here on MUBS TV. I appreciate your efforts. I'm called Steward Chopre of Oiroth, a GRC constituency of Human Resource Bachelor's Year Two in the 26th Guild Parliament. I'm okay. I'm generally okay. I'm happy to be here.
How has been your week, sir?
The week has been fair, though quite busy, but I managed. I had some quite busy schedule, but thank God we are here today.
Yes, our viewers today. Before we go any further, I would like to thank you for always watching our program. Surely we are making progress in all the videos that, in all the programs that we have always premiered of this show. I would like to thank you so much. Let's continue doing so. Let's subscribe, let's share, tell a friend to tell a friend. With MUBS TV, we are going to transform together. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I will start from Honorable Stuart Chopre. There has always been violence in these guild elections, and I don't know why, because sometimes I look at these elections as friendly matches that we should be sharing together, that me and you, when we're in a competition, we are brothers and sisters, that we don't need to fight each other. But it is so rampant. When you look at what happened in Chambogo this week, surely it is so alarming. What do you think would be the cause of this issue?
Thank you so much, Mr. Host. First of all, allow me to first define what violence is. What are we talking about violence? Violence simply means the use of physical force or harm to cause physical harm or force to cause injury or damage to property, to oneself, or to anyone else. Now, basing on what you have asked, are the causes of violence. We have seen the prevalence of violence in very many institutions in Uganda. We have seen it happening in Makerere University recently during the Dangote Alionzi, His Excellency, during the 2022 elections, guild elections.
Actually, it's last year. Last year in July.
July.
Yeah, I want to Ben with a student of law at UC.
So you have seen it happening. The prevalence of violence cannot stop. It's still continuing and it's there. So we saw a UCU student getting into that act, into that campaigns, guild campaigns, and unfortunately dying upon the election. So we have seen it also happening in Chambogo, like yesterday. Previously, it has also been in Gulu University, Mbarara, and the rest of other institutions in Uganda. We are seeing number one cause of it being a personal difference in personal ideologies or political ideologies, difference in political ideologies. I don't believe whether NRM has the same ideology with the DP or with the MUBS or with the FDC. There are differences in these political ideologies that one political party do believe in, that the other political party does not believe in. And of course, the various candidates will, with all their supporters, will have different reactions towards each other. And that's number one cause of violence. We're also looking at aspect of emergency of security personnel into elections. We saw it yesterday in Chambo, where our His Excellency Nakayenga, who emerged the second, was arrested the other day before the election. The rest of the candidates were left untouched. So that sparked, it was a sparking factor. It acted as a sparking factor because it created a state of discontent within the local supporters of Chambogo University. And in that, they had to react. The security personnel favoring one party, one candidate over the other, really had a say or had a hand in the Chambogo violence, the cause. Then you also look at the animosity or the state of discontent within the students, the personal hatred. Maybe, for example, for instance, we have Right Honorable Prime Minister here with us. I, for one, Stuart Chopre, maybe if we have been growing like we are ever in hatred with one another, then there comes the time we emerge in the university to pick a form, a nomination form for our guild president's race, two of us. But remember, we had that personal hatred, leave alone even joining campus. So that really alone will create some discontent, and definitely my supporters will have a different dimension of what the other political party believes in or the other group believes in. So we have various aspects of violence, but I want you to know that violence manifests in very many forms. It can be in an assault, abuse, physical aggression. It is not only a physical harm of one another, of one party to the other. It can also be an assault.
So should we say, because I'm trying to get to the point, should we say that the problem is the difference in ideologies between the parties, and as well, should we say it is always the problem of the security personnel, so sometimes tend to take a side?
Not really. They are not the only factors, but as well, there are very many contributing factors that contribute to violence in institutions. I mentioned the political ideology, the difference in political ideology. I mentioned the emergency of security personnel into the guild activities. you see at MUBS, the prevalence of political insecurity, the emergence of political insecurities have been limited a bit compared to Shambogo, where they have the whole barracks staged in the university. At MUBS, you don't have that. At Makerere, they don't have that, a full barracks staged in the university. So that alone will, of course, impact a lot on the students. Anything, any chaos, the security personnel will emerge. Unlike MUBS, where we don't have such. And it also cuts across the issue of discipline, the degree of discipline of the various institutions. I applaud MUBS for being so peaceful in the previous elections, of not engaging themselves into physical harm of one political party to the other, though there are assault, abuses, tearing of posters of one candidate, a poster for the other candidate by a political group of the other. That has been happening.
Honorable maybe to cut you short, because I need Honorable Abdallah to go deep into this topic. He has been one, I mean, he's in the government, and I think he has always been at the front when it comes to youth rallies, starting from the mobile rallies, His Excellency Waswa. I mean, what do you think could be the cause? Because even in Chamboga, I think you were in Chamboga as an observer, I don't know, because I saw you there. But anyway, you can tell us what mainly causes this.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for this opportunity. Once again, my name is Abdallah Mukama, the Deputy Prime Minister of the mighty institution, Makerere University Business School. Mr. Moderator, before I go deep into the topic of the day, I'll break down some things. What is violence? What do we mean by violence? And what is leadership? Because I don't know which basis you made to invite the panelist, because it's my young brother, we are offering the same program, human resource. And human resource deals with how to manage people. Because when you are in an election, you are managing people. Because managing people, it means you are also a leader. You understand? So, I think we are the right people to talk about this topic. What is violence? It's a kind of behavior, a kind of behavior involving physical attack, hurt, harm, or damage that even may cause death to some people. So that violence, it's a behavior, whereby that behavior, we know that behavior can be changed. You understand? That is violence. Behavior can be changed. Because the behavior we had when we were 10 years, it's not the same behavior we have. You understand? So, when we talk about what are the types of violence, because we are talking about violence, but you know there are some types of violence that can be handled. We have physical violence. Physical violence, me coming you, Mr. Modulator, maybe slapping you, what, that is physical. It is targeting, harming you, your physical being. Then we have sexual violence. I happen to have been to some school that even we could go to support football, that was Kasasa. Then if we go and support football with Chimanya, we had sexual violence. They got one girl of ours, they sexually abused her. So it means there is sexual violence. Then another kind of violence, this verbal violence. I come to intimidate you with words. That is verbal violence. Then we have the psychological violence. I say something to torture you psychologically, to piss you off. You know, Mr. Modulator, you have been in elections, but whenever we come to you, there is something we do that will piss you off, will switch your mind off psychologically, and get that anger to go into physical violence. So I think that is the type of violence. Then leadership. What is leadership? Leadership is the power to influence a group of people in order to achieve a common objective or purpose. So it means, imagine you as a leader, for example, His Excellency Waswa Christopher, has that power, has that influence to influence a group of students to either help him achieve a desired goal. So that power may be positive power or negative power. When it comes to negative power, that's when we have violence. Because organizing that, like MUBS, over like let me take for example yesterday, Chambo, over 1,000 students voted for His Excellency Reagan. It means he has power over those people. He can negatively lead them or positively lead them. You understand? So it means also violence is attached to leadership. The person leading has the positive power to influence them or negative power to influence them. So, Mr. Moderator, I would like to talk about what are the causes of violence during the elections in universities. Number one, my brother talked about indifferences in political ideologies. When I'm a politician and I'm a leader, because when we go outside now university, ideally we can go to Africa as a country, because Africa, we believe that if you are no, I'm NLM, we must be enemies. Unless the Europeans, Europeans will sit. But for us Africans, we believe that if Mr. Moderator is a NOP supporter and I'm a UID supporter, we should even never sit on the same table. So it means political ideology differences is the basis for violence. You look at an NLM supporter as your enemy and you want to attack and hurt him or her. You understand? So that ideology, because you know the ideology maybe of Mwebesa was not the same ideology of Nakayenga. You understand? Yeah? So even if you go down, deep down into their agendas and their, what do we call them? Manifestos. They are totally different. They are totally different. So those are ideology differences. It is a basis for violence. Then another one, this is a common practice, I will say, to Africa and even to institutions, I will say. Rigging of votes, it is a cause. Because any sort of dissatisfaction, it arises because of rigging of votes. Because everyone's eyes is in the ballot box. You understand? So, you will say that even tomorrow you will find that His Excellency Nakayenga will say, they rigged my votes. We go. So, rigging of votes is one of the causes of the violence in university during elections. Then another one is discrimination. I've been actively participating in Chambogo's elections and campaigns. Yesterday night, before the day to election, there was propaganda. There was a flyer that was out with Reagan's peak. Then it had a lot of abuses, tribal abuses, like Reagan abusing Basoga. So it was a basis of discrimination. It means they used that propaganda to make a certain tribe dissatisfied so that they can clash and have violence. So it's another cause of violence. Then others, when you look at, when I'm here, I will not say that I'm under UID and what, but what I had at Chambogo, they were like administrative, took part of the elections. So it means by administration doing that, it is showing a side and it will lay a ground for violence. Because when I was there with Afande Kato at night, Afande Kato was like, Chambogo is very violent compared to MUBS. They were wiping girls. And here, whenever we come here at MUBS, the first people to be protected are the girls. Even though the two camps come together, we protect them. But you find a gentleman wiping a girl at Chambogo. So it means if administration does not realize and come to a neutral ground and leave the students to do what they must do, it means it will create a ground for violence.
Honorable Abdallah, to cut you short, should we say that the administration is also part of one of the causes of this violence. And should we also take it back to our leaders at national level? Because all these ideologies are always, their draft are always done at the national level. When you go to NUP, when you go to NRL, when you go to DP, when you go to FDC, you find that ideologies come from national level and then now come to institutions. Should we also put a blame on our leaders at national level?
I think we should, because I normally interact with some people. Like I've interacted with Dr. Mpata, conducts what we call training at Chankwan's. Dr. Mpata talked about what we call social construction. Easy if, Mr. Moderator, if you are in NUP has its a social construction. You understand? They say that NUP is violent. If for you are humble, it means you not fit in that society. You understand? Then we have a new emergency that is coming from on unity platform. It means if you don't have characters attached to that political party, you don't fit it there. You understand? So we blame the political leaders at the head that should be exemplary to the university students leaders, that whenever we come, maybe during guild elections, advise them to be non-violent. You understand? Like in Ichamboko, we were in Ichamboko, but when you look at National Unity Platform, had deployed outsiders, outsiders equipped with killing machines, what you understand? Because if you move, these are students. You find a girl moving unsexual, she doesn't know even how to fight, even how to run, but you have deployed your people from their headquarters, secretariat, to come and involve themselves in the guild elections. So at times, let us leave these guild elections to be handled by students, I think.
Yeah, Honorable Chokri, you think this violence has an effect on our leadership? More so because here at university we are looking at raising leaders who are intellectuals and leaders that are going to take up this country in the future. Do you think this violence, on the other hand, has an impact on our leaders here?
Well, thank you, Mr. Moderator. First of all, I would like to polish something that the Right Honorable Prime Minister said, that the NUP supporters were equipped with killing machines. They can easily drag you into courts of law because you don't have the evidence. And besides, there are also other camps that, of course, had to call other supporters from various universities. Like I saw His Excellency Waso Christopher with the whole team going to support UID in Nachambogo. The same to FDC and other camps. So coming to your question, does it have an impact on leadership? Definitely, yes, it does. Because look at that. Dangote, for example, Dangote had that leadership tenure last year. But Dangote's regime has been marked as violent due to that incident of UCU student, a law student getting killed into the elections, into the campaigns. They will not maybe say it was during this 89th guild government of Makerere University, but they will here marked it to Dangote, Alion's Excellence. So it has an impact.
I think Dangote was 88?
88, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was the 88th guild government. So it will have an impact on that same particular individual, the personality, the image of that person will be spoiled a bit. So violence, in simple terms, it impacts a lot on the leadership. Just imagine if the MUBS students one day rose up and maybe for something, some discontent and strikes, It will be labeled during Waswa's regime. And even if Waswa, after campus, because there's life after campus, it will be labeled that during your regime, you had a strike at MUBS. So it impacts a lot. It creates that bad image to that same particular individual who is in power at that same time, or that personality. The reputation of that personality declines a bit. So violence impacts a lot into that aspect of leadership.
Honorable Bella, let's go back now to give elections. Yeah, the violence that always happens. Do you think it has an impact? Let us not now go like Honorable Chopra was talking about, like during the government, even before. Because a life can be lost, and maybe that life that is lost will be a president of this country in the future. So what do you think about this?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Whenever I'm given a chance, I need to hire out statements and people get me clearly. So, when again you go back to violence, there is a root cause of violence. Either it starts from a dispute, may have to do with a dispute. Then if we fail to solve that dispute, it will go to what we call a grievance. After a grievance, we shall go to what we call a conflict. Then after a conflict, they are going to violence. So you understand? So you have asked me the question of the impact of violence in healthy leadership. So let me tell you, in this life, there is what we call an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur sees a problem as an opportunity. So violence, it has both positive and negative impacts. I tell you. Yeah, that's it.
What are you talking?
Violence has positive and negative impacts in guild leadership.
Maybe you can tell us.
Yeah, I'll begin with positive. Positive one. Have you ever been like, I have ever interacted with a former guilty prime minister, that is Chiseka Rashid. Seka told me MUBS to get to know him. He had organized the strike of BBMC Max during the regime of Professor Barunya. Then they were marching from Short Tower to the main building. Yeah? When they were marching, Professor Barunya happened to meet them. And Seka was a team leader. So Professor Barunya identified him and sat him down, told him, what's the problem? Chiseka as a team leader hired out the grievance, the dissatisfaction to Professor Barunya. Then Professor Barunya identified Chiseka as a potential group influencer. So in violence, we have those people who influence the rest. Yeah? So that is an opportunity they are identified. But now when I talk, now Chiseka Rashid is the Director Leadership Academy. So it is a positive. Through violence, he was identified. So let me go to the negative part of it, Mr. Moderator. Negative part. My young brothers talked about repetition. That is the image. That is the image. So, as students leaders made us the guilty president, over during elections, people have lost their dignity. You understand? For example, if you talk about Mr. Moderator, you were very humble, but there was an emergency of violence emerged during your reign. It means it will mark that you were violent, your regime was violent. So your reputation has gone. Then another thing, loss of life. During elections, students lose their lives. You understand? So, like for example, we went to Chambogo with some ministers, but they were beaten. They were beaten, you understand?
And that is what the violence we are talking about mainly.
So they were beaten. So it means, if you cannot control your two camps, we shall have bloody elections. So there is loss of life our students lose lives during elections because of violence.
Honorable Abdallah, thank you so much. Honorable Stewart, maybe you help me elaborate more about his point of positive impact of violence on leadership. Because me, surely I would not go with this. I mean, the way he's saying it, that it has positive impact. And then as well, I need you to tell us, should we now bring back leadership? I mean, how best can we bring leadership, having leaders that can easily control their camps, that we cannot have this violence. For example, like we move freely, we meet, we greet each other, and then we continue. Because politics, I mean, life is better. I mean, life is far more, far better than politics. That we don't need to fight each other. Because when a brother dies, you've lost someone who could give you a job in the future. You've lost someone who could be your employee in the future, which you don't know. So, how best can we tell these guild presidents, not only guild presidents, all leaders in universities, that please, when we are in politics, try to control your ground, try to control your people. Be an influencer, like he has said it, that you must be an influencer. Influence people to remain peaceful, and then we can go on with life.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. First of all, there is what we call emotional intelligence. If you are emotionally intelligent, you are that leader who influences your group. Maybe, try to educate them on how to be emotionally intelligent. It could also have an impact on the discipline of the team. To have at the back of their mind that they should be emotional. They should control their emotions, regardless of the revocations. Because I know political parties, they do revoke one another. They revoke each other. So the team leader or the guild president should first of all sensitize. There's also an aspect of sensitization. Have your group, sensitize them on the causes of violence and the disastrous consequences that violence may cause to them. Not only to them, but also to the entire fraternity, the entire students' fraternity.
And do you think, sorry for cutting you short, do you think there should be a penalty for any candidate who fails to control their crowds?
There is aspect of democracy. We are in a democratic world. I don't want to dictate, but it also depends on the electoral committee of that particular institution. If the MUBS EC, they have in their guidebook that any guild president aspirant who fails to control the team, and if that team leads to maybe probably violence in the institution, for example here at MUBS, will be disqualified, will be nullified. Yes, it will work, but I'm not dictating. It can go through the EC chairman together with the team to have their rules and regulations, because I believe they have the rules and regulations guiding electoral process. So we believe in the democratic pipeline. So the whole process, or the whole system you're talking about, goes to the electoral committee to have that in the guidebook or not, because we're in a democratic world. Some students will oppose it. Why are you putting this rule to disqualify or to disqualify our candidate? So it also depends on the institutions.
Yes, Honorable Abdallah, I do think now we should always have a penalty for people that fail to control their crowds, because surely what happened in Jambo was so bad. I saw stones flying, I saw tear gas flying, I saw students falling down when they are running away from the stones, and as well running away from the tear gas. So surely, do you think there should be a penalty that if this candidate fails to control their audience, they should be given a penalty? And which penalty do you think would be the best?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. The EC, as my brother said here, that power lies with the EC. EC, when EC comes up, has to brief, has to induct these candidates on how the guideline, on how, because the roadmap is there, they should speculate the guidelines on how to conduct the elections. One, on how to handle their camps. That is one. And failure to do so, there must be a penalty. Whereby this EC chairman, they come here, they tell us, if you misbehave, you will do this and this. Whereby at a certain time, they are money oriented. I'm sorry to say that. After you misbehaving, they will give you a fine. But people are losing lives. So if you see any candidate is come misbehaving, I think that candidate should be disqualified. For example, when you go back to Makerere election, that when we lost that student, I think even you, Mr. Moderator, were there. We had a crowd of stones, a cloud of stones. So, to that extent, it means the camp that misbehaved had to come, then they should be given a penalty, either to be disqualified or to apologize. It will depend on the extent.
But Honorable, don't you think that would also cause more violence?
I know,
disqualifying a candidate.
I know they say that fire cannot cease fire.
Exactly.
Fire cannot cease fire. But we are under democracy. And democracy, we follow guidelines. If anyone, no one is above you. That's it, no one is above you. If they say that you pick your nomination forms, they give you the guidelines of the elections, you break one, it means you have deliberately broken it. So you must abide by that law.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still live on MUBS TV, a project that is there to transform your lives, a project that is there to give you education about life matters, about entrepreneurship. So please don't forget to tell a friend that please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and let's continue moving together. Maybe Honorable Stewart, due to the time factor, please, would you mind if you elaborate more how best we can control this as you give your closing remarks, just in 1.5 minutes?
Thank you so much. First of all, on how best we can control this violence in these various institutions and the effects on leadership and humanity. One, we should have a fully instituted electoral process, electoral committee, well-disciplined electoral committee. Two, with the clear guidelines, with the clear rules, election guidelines, whereby if a candidate B penalizes, maybe causes violence, he or she is subjected to that penalty. So the EC must be instituted democratically. They are supposed to have a democratic process, a democratic and clear roadmap or guideline on how they can induct the various candidates and maybe sensitize them upon that issue. Then also, it's not relying on the EC alone, but also we have these political parties should as well have that aspect of discipline. You know, one Professor Lumumba of Kenya said, there's nothing you can achieve in life without the aspect of discipline. Discipline is very key to development, self-discipline. You must have just self-discipline for your success in life. So they have to be as well disciplined political camps, because these are just created to follow some formality. It's not to create hatred among each other, because we all have one blood. We all have red blood. So we shouldn't look at violence as maybe the overall solver or the overall solution to manipulate elections and probably maybe to triumph in an election, but should have a disciplined team with well agenda, with well students agenda. Because seriously, if you are willing to deliver to the students, to make that service delivery, to have a positive impact to the students, you shouldn't have a violent team.
Yes, thank you so much, Honorable Chopre. Honorable Abdallah, which message, I want you to say a special message to the administration, to the leaders at national level, and to our security forces. What best we can do to see that this violence doesn't always happen during guild campaigns, during even after winning elections. How best we can, as well, you give your closing remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. First and foremost, we have told me to talk about the administration, the leaders, then the leaders at national level.
Leaders at national level,
and then within the institutions. To the administration, the message I can give them is to leave students play their role during elections. Let not administration involve themselves.
I think MUBS is the best example.
Yeah, it's the best example. Let students participate in their elections fully, but not involve them. Because even though you are supporting some candidate, don't show. Because once you show, it is a ground for violence. Then to the institutional leaders like us, there is what we call knowing individual differences. Whenever you are leading people are of different personality, people have different needs, and people have different values. So, as institutional leaders, we should know people's differences, people we are leading. If you see Abdallah is violent, how do you handle him? And if you say that maybe my brother here needs money, how do you handle him? So let us know people's differences, and also as institutional leaders, we should teach our people we are leading, the members, about two topics. That is emotional intelligence and mindset.
Thank you so much, Honorable Abdallah. Ladies and gentlemen, on 14th of July 2022 last year, during the 88th guild election, Ewan Batengura Bewoti died at Makerere University. He was a student of law at UCU, but as well he had come to campaign for a friend who was aspiring for guild president. Unfortunately, due to the violence that happened that time, he lost his life. So one message I can tell you is, please, we need to handle our emotions very well. When we're in elections, it is just like a friendly match. One thing you need to know is that after elections, life will move on, and we shall have one victorious person. Not all of us can be victorious. We can have different ideologies, but we need to agree on certain matters that put us ahead and keep us moving. This marks the end of this show. My name is Mugabe Godwin, aka Israel Media. My panelist here is Honorable Stuart Chopre, Honorable Abdallah Mkama. I thank you so much for coming in, and please, you can help us tell the students that please let them follow us, subscribe. We have TikTok accounts, we have a Twitter account, we have YouTube. Tell them to subscribe as we close the show.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. There's a saying that buy Uganda, build Uganda. If you watch TikTok, every day you watch TikTok, and you are watching outsiders, and you are not supporting your own, it means here we are buying MUBS, build MUBS. So subscribe to the MUBS TV, watch, send our links even to your other universities to subscribe. It will help us build the MUBS TV. It is a good initiative. It will help you. It will keep you informed. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for watching, and probably a lot has been said, but I urge you to subscribe to the channels, the various channels, the YouTube channels, the TikTok. Please, it has started. The journey has started. So it's upon us to embrace the continuity of the journey, and that's MUBS TV. So please support us, so let's support ourselves. Just as Right Honourable Prime Minister said, buy Uganda, build Uganda. It starts from now. It starts from within us. You cannot expect an outsider to help us to start also to subscribe. Let's help each other, we help one another, we be in peace, unity, and we develop. Above all, let's be at school. We manage our differences, emotional intelligence. Let's be one. There's life after campus. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our viewers. We'll meet next time. MUBS TV, transforming with you. Thank you so much.